Hey everybody, my name is Rondell Morrison and I'm a realtor and motivator inside of Dallas, Texas and surrounding areas. In this video, I will be speaking about how to know that thing you're good at and the steps to get you to that place. Stay tuned. Okay, so let me just start off by telling a little bit about who I am, a little bit about my background. I didn't always know like who I was going to be, or or what I was good at, or anything like that. You don't just wake up with some magical thing in your mind that just tells you like, damn, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna crush, I'm gonna do this. It doesn't work like that. Growing up, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My dad had multiple businesses, okay, and he made sure that I was a part of each and every one of them, right? And growing up as a kid, teenager, that's not your focus. Your focus is having fun, partying, hanging with girls, the regular stuff. And I wasn't really good at school at all, okay. It came to a point, around 10th grade, I was actually going to drop out of school. We were going back and forth. My parents, my stepmother, and my dad were going back and forth. And that was going to be my thing. I was going to drop out. And, I was just going to go to work. And I never forget, in 10th grade, my dad is real hardcore, real tough. So this was his way of saying try this or do something. And I remember he came in the room, he's like, you need to read this book. And he threw it on the bed, right? And he was like, I want you to read that and then, write down notes and stuff like that. Because you have to find something to do, right? So I remember the book he gave me was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, right? And I remember when I read this book, like it triggered something in my mind. Like I fell into it. I felt like I was inside of it with this guy and like watching him make businesses and wear suits and be a millionaire. Like I was like, wow, like I want to do this. Like, when I would watch my dad do businesses, he worked so hard, so it never looked like it was exciting. But when I was reading this, I was like, wow, with hard work, you can be something great like this. So that's what I wanted to do. Like I knew it right there. I felt it in my bones. Like I was thinking about it every day. And after high school, I had a kid, and me and my their mother, we got into a place. We moved into our own place. And when you have your dreams and stuff you want to do, but life happens and bills happen, and you forget about everything else and put it to the back burner. And that's just a regular way of life. And so like I started doing like some little jobs here and there, but then the economy really crashed in 2008, as I'm sure you're aware. And we had nothing. And so me and my dad really butt heads because we're exactly the same. And I remember I called him and I said, hey, Pops, I was like, I need a job, in a place to stay. So he was like, well, I have this boutique, you can work there, sell some clothes. It's not, it's not a lot of traffic, So I was like, okay, that's cool. And I was like, how much you gonna pay? He was like, you living here is gonna be your pay. So he would just throw me money here and there. It was a little bit of traffic. And I'll never forget this one day I was cleaning up. I stayed a little late and I was cleaning up and I had the music blasting. I mean, it was like pounding. And it was a restaurant next door, but everybody else was closed, right? But I didn't think they could hear because it was so loud in there. And this lady came in before they went to the restaurant, and she said, y'all open? And I was cleaning. I was like, no. She was like, whatever. She had 3 friends with her, right? So they just came in, and I put the cleaning stuff up. Then a few more people came in, then about 2 more ladies. So I think it was like 10 people in there. And I was talking, engaging, not even realize what I was doing, and just talking to them. And I remember I was just ringing them up like it was nothing. It was casual, like it's a regular day. I never forget. My dad came back. He came. He didn't say nothing. He went to the computer, and he said, he said, what'd you do? I was like, what? He was like, it's the same $800. I was like, how do you do now? He's like, come on, man. So he printed out the receipt. He said, hold on, you made $800. You sold $800 worth of clothing here. I was like, I guess. It's like impossible, right? Now I may be thinking that's not a lot, but let me just tell you, a little small boutique, like a mom and pop boutique, the average boutique makes around $400 to $600 a year, around $26,000 to $30 grand a year if they're lucky. So that's really big for a boutique, especially when you don't have that type of traffic coming in here. He's like, do the same thing tomorrow again, right? So I was like, okay, like whatever. So I remember I got there real early and I took the I was like, I need to, wait for them to see it. So I took the mannequins and I put them outside, right? So people can see it, like, because it was like a nice little, like, road strip on the highway right there. And I turned the music up loud, and I remember we had our first lady come in. It was around, we opened at 11, it's on like 11:45, right? And she came in, she was like, and then my stepmother left some wine that she was drinking like with cups. So I, she was like, "Can I get some of that?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I grabbed one of the cups out of the little wrapper, and I poured her some. And man, she went over there. She started like this dancing, and she felt like she was really like at a club or with her friends, like she was creating in her mind. And and I was like, wow. So everybody that was coming out was like, "Y'all want some wine? Like, you want to have fun?" And I remember at the end of the night, we tallied up, and that night, I never forget it, we made $1,028. And I remember he looked at it, he was like, and he looked at me, he said, "Son," he said, "you're a salesman." He said, "You're great. This is amazing." He was so excited. He was like, "Man, like, you're really good at this." So I was like, "Really? I am?" I was like, "I love it." Like I fell in love with it. And I just started learning like more techniques and stuff on how to do it. And I eventually left, and I started, and I remember I went back to working at a warehouse job because I did a lot of other sales jobs, like knocking on doors and stuff, but it didn't, those are just made to, make somebody else money. So it wasn't really sales. And it burned me out from it so much that I was like, it's whatever, like this is not real. And I started doing like little warehouse jobs, and the warehouse was cool. So it was $300, $300 a week. And never forget, my girlfriend saw a post on Facebook, and it was like, "Setup guy, go to all these events, $500. So I was like, "Well, that's like a raise. I'm only making $300." And I remember they hired me on the spot, and but what I didn't realize is that company that I went to work for was actually for sales for resorts. You would make a certain amount of money for the package, and each week. But I was so burnt out from it, I thought it was fake. So I was like, I didn't pay no attention to it. And it's funny how it led me. I was still led back to sales in some way. I didn't pay any attention to it, and I remember, I never forget, we was going on this trip to this place called Apple Mountain because we had to see the new resort that the company was bringing out, right? And everybody was on a bus, and it was this guy named Michael Cuevas. And he was like, "Hey man," he was like, "You're the setup guy, right?" So I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He said, "Man, like, thank you for everything." He's like, "You ever thought about getting into what we do, like sales and stuff?" And I was like, "Man, nah, I'm good with that, man. We're just trying to build your team or something like that." He was like, "Oh, he was like, we make good money." I was like, "I'm making $500 a week. I'm cool." And my apartment was only like $600, so I'm like, "This is what's up," And he was like, "Yeah, I made about $1,600 a week." I was like, "Okay, what? 16?" He's like, "Yeah, man." He showed me, and it was like 1608. And I was like, "What, that took you like a month?" Or he was like, "No, man, this was last week, like 4 days." I was like, "What?" I said, "Show me another one." His other one was like 1800. So I was like, "Wow, like y'all," I was like, "Everybody making this?" He was like, "The good ones are." I went to Monty. Monty was our general manager, and me and him was very cool. So we had to set up the events, and he liked music. We would play the guitar and stuff like that. And I was like, "Monty, like, those guys really making that?" He was like, "Yeah, I thought you knew." I was like, "What? I didn't know." I was like, "I want to do it." So he started like interviewing me right there, and he started me the next day because they needed salespeople. And I never forget, I was watching all of them. They made it look so easy. So I remember I got to that booth, and I was like, "I'm gonna murder them," because it was a competition. I was like, "Let's go, baby, let's go." I remember I got to that booth, and that lady came up, and I literally went blank, nothing. She was like, "What is this?" I was like, "I don't know. Like, I'll tell you no lie." I was like, "I don't know what this is." And she was like, the lady's friend was doing it next to me. So she was like, "I'll just do it," right? And this guy, Matt, I mean, he was like just slinging them. Like, he was so good. And I remember I was like, "Oh, I got one. Yeah, baby." 1, 2, 3 weeks went by. Absolutely blank, a zero. And like literally I was like, "Man, I suck at this. I suck at everything." Like I literally felt worthless. And when you go into a company and you see salespeople around you or anybody around you like it's doing so great, excelling, it really makes you look at yourself like, "Man, like I can't do anything right." Like those thoughts from school, like life, everything just was like, I was like, "Man, forget this." And I'll never forget. My girlfriend came to pick me up because we had one car at the time, and I remember I was so mad. I was sitting in the passenger seat. I started crying. I was crying. And I went and punched the window. I was like, "Man, dang, like I can't believe it." So I was like, "Man, I'm quitting. I'm going back to setup." And she was like, "Okay, like just trying to calm me down." And I was so upset with myself. I was like, "My goodness, man, I thought I was good at this." And I never forget, I called the manager. His name was JR. And this guy is like a motivator on 1 million. Like I'm no joke. Really great guy. And usually when people call, they just let him quit, like, because they get so many people. Never forget, I called him on the phone. I said, "JR, I suck, man." I said, "I can't do this. I want to go back to setup." He said, what, man, I can't believe you letting that come out of your mouth. He said, no, let me tell you something. True story. He said, you know the story about the tortoise and the hare? He said, yeah, that hare was going so fast, but who won at the end, man? The tortoise won, man. He's like, man, I'm telling you, you're going to be beating all these people. I can see it, all this stuff. And I didn't believe him. I was like, whatever, I just want to go back. And he was like, come in the office tomorrow. So I was like, okay. I came in the office, and he just stared at me for like 1 minute. Didn't say nothing. I was looking back at him like, what? Like, what the freak? And I remember he said, read this book, right? And it was Joe Girard. It was about sales. And when I started reading it again, it hit me again like when I first read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I was like, I forgot that sales was fun because I went to all those, fake sales jobs where it was nothing. And it burned me out. And, I forgot to prepare and all this stuff. And I was like, wow. I tell you no lie, literally within that next week, I started crushing it, man. Like, I was getting so many. I started making like $3 to $4 grand a week, and like it was great. Like people at the booth, they couldn't even keep up with me anymore. And this is true. Like I would literally have people lined up to sign up. Like, I was doing so much big numbers that it was crazy. Like, the average person at a booth would probably get like 5 or 10. I started doing like 20 and 25 a shift, which was crazy because I dived into it. I fell in love with it again. I was happy, and I was like, this is who I am. I know who I am. And I say that to say this is how you know what you're supposed to be doing. Whatever is calling you every day, whatever is tugging you into bed at night and making you squirm with an abundance of excitement, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And anything outside of that will always leave you in a state of unfulfillment, because you'll always be a sentence in the wrong paragraph. You will not fit no matter what you try to do. I'm a man of the Bible, and I believe in the Lord and his son, Jesus Christ, because he's made me who I am. And, in the Bible, I'll tell you a quick story. There was 3 men, right, and a master, right? He had 3 servants, right, 3 workers, right? He was going on a business trip, and he said, I'm going to give you guys something. When I come back, I want you to, have something ready for me. The first guy, he gave 5 gifts, 5 talents. Bam, that's for you, right? The second guy, he gave 2. Bam, that's for you, right? The third guy, he gave 1 talent, 1 gift. Bam, that's for you, right? So he said, when I come back, I want you to have something ready for me, something ready to go. The one with 5, he went out, he was crushing it, doing his thing, right? The one with 2 went out, was crushing, doing his thing, 1 with 1. And when the master came back, when the boss came back, he said, hey, what have you guys got for me? The first one with 5, he said, you know what? He said, I went out there and I crushed it. He said, the 5 you gave me, I made 5 more. The master said, my good and faithful servant, gave him a fist pound, right? The second one, he said, what have you got for me? He said, yeah, I was crushing it too. I went out and made 2 more. He said, my good and faithful servant, bam, gave him a fist pump. The last one, he said, what have you got for me? He said, master, I was so afraid of the gift you gave me, I took it and I stuffed it into the ground. I stuffed it in my belly. I locked the door to it. Here it is, just 1. He said, you wicked, and he called him wicked and slothful, lazy. He said, how dare you take what I gave you and bury it and ignore it? He said, that would have made you successful. But because of your fear, it locked you in a place of unfulfillment. Look, man, I understand, bills are real. Kids are real. Wife, that's real. I understand. It's nothing wrong with going after your dream and still keeping something on the side, It's nothing wrong with getting that part-time job at night to go after your dream. Do not let that spirit of excuses and procrastination hinder everything that you are, everything that you're capable of being. I would always hear people tell me, it's crap all the time, like, man, you can't do this, can't do that. And I literally I would laugh because I was like, I know I'm gonna be successful. Have I gotten to my destination yet? Absolutely not. I'm still climbing, but I'm going after it. I'm not letting people stop me. I'm not letting the world stop me. I'm not letting bills or anything stop me. I'm still going after it. You can do the same thing. Go hard. Go after your dream. What's stopping you? Why you're in the house, study. The reason why I couldn't get nothing at first, even though I was so great and I had so much talent I can sell, I did no preparation. I didn't study. I didn't master my craft. You understand? I don't like watching basketball because I just don't watch it. So, but I do like watching work ethic. Arguably, some say Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. The guys are so great. They do so much phenomenal things. They're so awesome when they get on there, when they excel in their gift. You would think because they're so talented and gifted, they actually will sit at home, watch TV, relax, because, who could beat them? But no. The way they work, you would think they suck because they spend 60 to 90 hours a week going hard at something that they are already great at. You have to do that. Put the work into it, man, and you will yield the results. You will yield the success. I guarantee it. Now, I believe in God and His Son, Jesus Christ, man, and when you give your all to the Lord, I'm telling you, He'll give His all to you. I did not know who I was. I was always unsure of myself. I always felt like nothing. The moment I dived into that Bible, really dived into the Lord, I was introduced to myself. When I used to look at myself in the mirror, I knew something was wrong. That person was not me. That person was a false me. When I got into that word and found out who I was and found out what I was capable of doing, there was no one who could stop me. And if you got in my way, you would be sorry. Go after your dreams. The moment that you touch, just scratch your gift, I'm telling you. You ever go next to a fire? There's only a certain amount that you can get close to that fire. You'll start feeling that heat. You'll start feeling that burning sensation. If you actually touched it, you will get burned. When someone gets close to your gift, they don't even have to like you, but I guarantee you they will get burned. They'll feel it. They'll love it because you're working in something that's a gift that was given to you from the Lord above. And once the moment you ignite that, when the forest fire starts, you don't catch it in time. It's going to, destroy that whole forest. That's how your gift has to be. Keep mastering it. Let it grow. Keep going to a point where even water, nothing can stop it. They can hose it. They can call a fire alarm. They can call a fire truck people. Nothing can stop it. Go after it. I'm telling you, you won't be sorry. And accept the Lord Jesus Christ. You can do whatever you want, but this is what worked for me. Accept the Lord Jesus Christ, man. Let Him come into your life. Just tell Him, just simply tell Him, I accept who you are. Show me the ways of your kingdom. Show me who I am. Help me out with my life, and He will. Will it happen overnight? Absolutely not. You got to keep going after it. Keep pursuing Him. Keep listening to His commands and keep going after. No matter, the suffering will come. Yes, it will. It will. Welcome. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to you regardless. So you might as well. But the moment, man, when you go into that place of peace, that place where there's really some milk and honey, some money for your family, some happiness, some smiles, it feels great. It feels great. Do it. Go after your dreams. Stop letting people stop you. Stop procrastinating. Stop making excuses. Do what you're called to do. You know what you're called to do because you're feeling it right now inside of your chest, right? You can do this, man. Thank you so much for stopping by with me, giving me a chance to speak with you. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe so I can make some more. And I love you all so much. Do your thing, man. And I look forward to speaking with you next time. Thank you. Have a good one.